Hey, 49ers faithful. Today, we're diving deep into something that has been a constant talking point among fans and analysts alike. The seemingly never-ending injury saga that has plagued the San Francisco 49ers over the past several seasons. Since Kyle Shanahan took over as head coach back in 2017, he's brought a unique offensive vision to the team, showcasing some of the most creative schemes in football. His pedigree, growing up with his father Mike Shanahan, and learning under some of the game's best offensive minds, certainly positioned him to turn the Niners into a powerhouse offensively. Yet, despite the brilliant play designs and explosive talent on the roster, one major obstacle has consistently derailed the team's full potential: injuries. And this isn't just an occasional hiccup. It's a trend that has persisted year after year. According to a detailed analysis by True Media, the Niners rank second in the league in total games missed due to injuries since Shanahan's arrival, right behind the New York Giants. That's right, we're talking thousands of games missed, players sidelined with torn ligaments, ankle injuries, and a range of other setbacks that can dramatically affect a team's rhythm and performance. The numbers are staggering, with over 1,600 games missed by Niners players since 2017. Even more striking is that this year alone, the team ranks third in missed games due to injury reserve, highlighting that the problem has not gone away and continues to affect key contributors across the roster. This raises a question every fan has been asking. Why does it seem like the Niners are cursed when it comes to staying healthy? When you examine the roster and the season-to-season breakdown, some patterns begin to emerge. Week 1 starters are playing less than 60% of total snaps in many cases, and only a handful of players have been able to start every game without interruption. Players like Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey, and a few others have been the exception rather than the rule, maintaining consistency while the rest of the team battles injuries. This constant churn creates challenges not only in maintaining team chemistry, but also in building momentum during the season. Kyle Shanahan's offense relies heavily on timing, precision, and players being in sync, and when injuries disrupt the flow, it impacts more than just individual performance. It impacts the entire system. Over the years, we've seen fluctuations in injury rankings, with some seasons being slightly better than others, but the overall trend remains a concern for the team and its loyal fan base. Even during successful campaigns, the Niners have consistently ranked high in injury rates league-wide, proving that this is a structural issue, not merely bad luck. There are multiple theories as to why San Francisco experiences such a high rate of injuries. One factor often cited is Shanahan's coaching philosophy and the physical style of play he encourages. The Niners are built to be aggressive, to dominate at the line of scrimmage, to impose their will on opponents through sheer physicality. That approach, while effective on the scoreboard, takes a toll on players' bodies over the course of a season. Thursday practices, in particular, have been highlighted as a potential contributor. These padded, high-intensity practices set the tone for Sunday games, but allow minimal recovery time, meaning players' bodies endure repeated stress without sufficient downtime. This relentless approach, while building toughness and preparing the team for game day intensity, can also contribute to wear and tear injuries that accumulate over time. Some players have even compared Niners practices to old-school, grinded-out approaches seen in other sports, noting that the focus on physical dominance mirrors legendary hard-nosed styles more than modern, preservation-focused routines. The idea is that it's not about conserving energy or avoiding hits. It's about attacking and controlling the field, even if that increases risk. Another angle to consider is the team's training and conditioning regimen, which has largely remained consistent since Shanahan's arrival. While consistency in coaching and training staff can be beneficial, it also means that any flaws or limitations in the program persist year after year. The Niners have an excellent home field at Levi's Stadium with pristine grass, which offers some cushion for players' bodies. Yet transitioning from practice surfaces to turf during away games may place additional stress on joints and muscles unaccustomed to the harder playing conditions. There's also been speculation about environmental factors, such as the practice facility's location near certain electromagnetic sources, which some experts suggest could have subtle effects on recovery, tissue health, and overall resilience. While this theory is far from universally accepted, it adds another layer to the ongoing conversation about why injuries seem so prevalent for San Francisco. The team has, of course, attempted to make adjustments. Over recent weeks, Shanahan has scaled back the intensity of some Thursday practices in response to injury concerns, aiming to find a balance between preparation and recovery. The impact is already visible, with fewer injuries reported in recent matchups. Yet, fans and analysts continue to debate the broader causes, and it's clear that no single factor can explain the chronic injury problem. From style of play to training methods, practice surfaces, and even luck, multiple elements converge to create a scenario where key players are frequently sidelined, forcing adjustments in lineups, rotations, and game plans. Ultimately, the question of whether the Niners are cursed is more rhetorical than analytical, but it underscores the frustration that fans experience season after season. The talent on the roster is undeniable. When healthy, this team can compete with anyone in the league, blending elite offensive creativity with a tenacious, physical approach on defense. Yet, sustaining that level of performance requires durability, and the inability to keep players on the field has repeatedly limited the team's potential. Fans can only imagine what might be possible if the Niners were able to avoid the injury bug for a full season, how deep they could go in the playoffs, how much cohesion the offense could maintain, and how the defense could dominate without constant replacements. It's a tantalizing vision that remains just out of reach, and it fuels the ongoing debate about strategies, coaching decisions, and team preparation. Adding another dimension to this discussion, analysts like Matt Barrows have highlighted the advantages and disadvantages of physical Thursday practices. Players themselves often see these sessions as a source of energy and momentum for the weekend, suggesting that the intensity may be a necessary trade-off for game day performance. This dual nature of the practices, both a potential cause of injuries and a performance enhancer, illustrates the delicate balance the coaching staff must strike. How do you push players to be ready for battle without overtaxing their bodies? It's a question that continues to challenge Shanahan and his team, especially as they aim to compete at the highest level year after year. The history of injuries, the analysis of practice routines, and the discussion of environmental and physiological factors all combine to paint a picture of a team fighting against both the elements and its own inherent challenges. The Niners' story is one of brilliance and struggle, of talent meeting adversity, and of a fan base that remains passionately committed despite the hurdles. As we continue to dig into the Niners' injury history, it becomes clear that this is more than just bad luck. The team's approach to football is inherently demanding, both mentally and physically. Kyle Shanahan's offense thrives on precision, timing, and physical execution, and every player on the field is expected to contribute at a high level every single snap. That means offensive linemen taking on massive defensive fronts, running backs absorbing hits while executing complex route trees, and receivers battling through coverage to make contested catches. Every missed game due to injury disrupts this system and forces adjustments that can ripple across the roster. Even players who return from injury often face limitations in their performance because the rhythm and timing that define Shanahan's schemes cannot be fully replicated without every key contributor on the field. This creates a cycle where injuries affect performance, which in turn can lead to further strain on healthy players who are asked to fill the gaps. Part of the challenge also comes from the way the Niners practice. High-intensity Thursday sessions, combined with the physical demands of Shanahan's game plan, put players in a situation where recovery windows are tight. Unlike other teams that may scale intensity to reduce injury risk, San Francisco maintains a culture where toughness and resilience are prioritized. Players have often described these sessions as grueling but necessary, highlighting that the team's identity is built around physical dominance. This philosophy has undoubtedly contributed to the Niners' ability to win tough, hard-fought games, but it also brings a higher risk of overuse injuries, strains, and more severe setbacks that can derail a season. Observers often point to comparisons with other teams, such as the Eagles, whose practices are reportedly less punishing, and it shows that organizational culture directly impacts injury rates and overall team durability. Another factor worth exploring is the consistency of the coaching and conditioning staff. Since Shanahan's arrival, the same core personnel have been in place, and while continuity has its benefits, it can also lead to systemic issues going unaddressed. Adjustments to training, conditioning, recovery protocols, or even practice surfaces might be necessary to mitigate injury risks. Yet changes have been gradual or limited. Some of the most significant injuries in recent years, torn ligaments, ankle dislocations, tendinitis, highlight that the physical stress the team places on bodies is substantial, and even elite athletes are not immune to its effects. The Niners front office and coaching staff now face a critical offseason where evaluating the effectiveness of current programs, introducing innovations in recovery, and possibly rethinking certain practices could make the difference between another injury-plagued year and a season where the team finally reaches its full potential. Environmental and logistical considerations add another layer to this complex puzzle. Practicing on lush grass at Levi Stadium provides a level of protection, but transitioning to away venues, many of which use turf surfaces, introduces additional stress on joints, ligaments, and muscles. The body, trained to perform on one surface, reacts differently when suddenly asked to adapt to another, and even minor changes in footing or field consistency can contribute to injuries. Beyond surfaces, some have speculated about factors like practice location, exposure to certain environmental conditions, or even electromagnetic fields, all of which could have subtle effects on tissue health and overall resilience. While these theories remain speculative, they underscore how multifaceted the injury problem is and how many variables might contribute to the Niners' ongoing struggles. Despite all these challenges, there's a silver lining. Adjustments in practice intensity and careful management of player workloads have shown early positive results. Recent games have seen fewer injuries, suggesting that the team can strike a balance between preparation and player safety. However, this is an ongoing experiment, and each season brings new tests as players recover from previous injuries, rookies enter the lineup, and the physical demands of the NFL grind continue unabated. The key question moving forward is whether the organization can combine its high-intensity, physical identity with a smarter, more data-informed approach to injury prevention and recovery. If successful, the Niners could finally unlock the kind of season where their talent and creativity on both sides of the ball are fully realized without being hampered by the next wave of injuries. The fan perspective cannot be underestimated in this discussion. For supporters who have followed the Niners through playoff runs, near misses, and injury-riddled seasons, the frustration is tangible. The talent and potential have always been there. Elite skill players, dynamic offensive schemes, and a defense capable of imposing its will. Yet, the inability to maintain a healthy roster has often prevented the team from achieving consistent dominance. It's not a matter of questioning the coaching or the players' effort. It's the unfortunate reality that injuries have a compounding effect, disrupting chemistry, forcing lineup shuffles, and creating uncertainty week after week. Fans have imagined what could be possible if the team could stay healthy for an entire campaign. Deep playoff runs, more sustained offensive rhythm, and a defense operating at peak efficiency without frequent replacements. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with one of the most seismic rumors in recent memory, a supposed blockbuster deal that could shake the very foundations of the league. According to whispers swirling through team circles and social media feeds, the San Francisco 49ers have reportedly closed a monumental $200 million agreement with none other than Pittsburgh Steelers superstar edge rusher T.J. Watt. If true, this would mark one of the boldest and most expensive moves in franchise history, a statement of intent from a team already loaded with talent. Watt, a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate and one of the most feared defenders in football, would bring a new level of chaos to an already dominant 49ers defense. Imagine him lining up alongside Nick Bosa, a pairing that could redefine defensive terror across the league. Sources close to the situation suggest negotiations have been quietly unfolding behind the scenes for weeks, under a veil of secrecy that few saw coming. Insiders describe the deal as historic, not only for its sheer dollar value, but for what it signals. The 49ers are all in, ready to mortgage cap flexibility in exchange for another shot at ultimate glory. Watt's camp has reportedly remained tight-lipped. Those subtle social media moves, including the mysterious removal of Steelers-related imagery, have only fueled speculation. Some insiders claim that Watt had long admired the 49ers' defensive culture and the intensity of Coach Kyle Shanahan's program, making San Francisco an ideal landing spot for his next chapter. Whether the ink is dry or the rumor mill has simply spun out of control, one thing is certain. This potential union has the entire NFL talking. Could the 49ers really field two of the league's most dominant pass rushers under the same banner? Could this be the dawn of a new defensive dynasty in the Bay Area? For now, the whispers grow louder, the speculation thicker, and the rest of the league watches in uneasy silence, waiting to see if this stunning rumor becomes an earth-shaking reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.